brand new Taylor's & Company 1873 Winchester in a cartridge you've all been waiting for that you're not going to believe. True with Guns America, and today we're taking the first look. In fact, this is one of the first production rifles of the new TC73 Winchester. It's a Taylor's & Company 1873 Winchester replica. And I got some pretty cool information about this for you guys. First things first, let's just break the suspense here. This is a 9mm chambering. So really cool. It's a tubular magazine, but it will shoot the most common round in America today, the 9mm or 9mm, whatever you want to call it. So we saw this rifle, we saw a prototype at the NRA show last year and did a video on it, but this one we've put rounds through it already. And I'm going to run you through the specs really quickly. So it is a tubular magazine. It holds 10 rounds. You load it through a loading gate. It's a very traditionally built rifle. It is 100% made in America. Every part, all the finish, the wood, everything is American made. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb here because I don't know how you would fact check this, but I believe that this is the first 1873 rifle to be made in America in over 100 years. So if you don't know who Taylor's & Company is, they're a really cool company in Winchester, Virginia that has done a lot of importing of old historic type guns. In fact, this revolver I've got right here is also an 1873. It's a Colt replica, single action, 4-click action. It's a 5.5-inch barrel, but it is it's an import, but it's also a 9mm. So the idea back in the Old West days was that you could have a rifle that was chambered in the same cartridge as your pistol. So there was a lot of these chambered in like 3840, for example. We have a family heirloom 1873 Winchester in my family that's a 3840, and so you'd carry that in your handgun and you'd carry that in your rifle. There's some cool things about this, like there's a dust cover. We thought this was an AR-15 thing. This slides up and covers where things eject and keeps them clean. There's actually a lock down here for the lever, just like there is on the original. The barrel is 18 inches long, and if you're noticing up here at the tip, you can see that's knurled, and that's because it's threaded. Now, I know this is a traditional rifle, but it is 2025 right now, and some people want to be able to suppress this. It's actually super, super duper quiet right now without anything, just because it's an 18-inch barrel and it burns most of the powder before it comes out. So it's actually not very loud anyway. So a really tiny, small, lightweight suppressor would probably just make this thing the sweetest sounding thing you've ever heard, and only add a little bit. Now, if you don't like this, they are selling, in fact, I'll just show you the threads. Taylor's & Company is selling a smooth thread protector that you can not even tell that it's threaded. So if you don't like it, you could do that. This has been approved for cowboy action shooting, but only with the smooth thread protector. So if we come on down here, we have a front sight that is tall enough to run with a suppressor, and there's a white kind of traditional bead here in the front. We have a semi buckhorn sight here in the rear that is adjustable for both windage and elevation. You can drift it right or left. You can also drift the front sight. We'll get you a close-up of this dust cover. Pretty cool. The hammer is a traditional shape. The check ring on it is traditional. This is premium steel. There is no MIM'd parts in this entire gun. Everything is premium, machined in the US. This is real case color hardening that's on this, and then the barrel is blued. The trigger is a phenomenal, like 3-ish pound trigger. Apparently, some of them weigh a little more, some a little less. I think that they're all going to break in a little differently, but it's crisp. I don't want to dry fire this a lot, but I'll just let's make sure this is clear one more time when I lock the lever here. But you can see, I'll just show you what this looks like. There's a little tiny bit of play, and then it's just a really nice, crisp break. Really phenomenal for a production gun. The action itself is butter smooth. It's been what we call Taylor tuned. They have a history of having their gunsmiths go through guns and polish things up, tune them up, and this is no exception to that. The difference though is that they're in complete control of how this is made, and so this is made better from the beginning. So the parts are just better. Even up here, this is walnut, as is the stock. Gorgeous. Grain is phenomenal. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it is gorgeous. There's also case color hardening up here on the cap for this forend. They had to do a couple things differently. Like, this is a bit of a smaller block. They had to make it smaller to work with a rimless 9mm case. I know what you guys are all thinking. How are you able to stack, you know, these into a tubular magazine? And the answer is this: there's only one cartridge that is listed in the owner's manual that you shouldn't load and shoot in this, and it's a G9, like a Woodsman, and it's got a real sharp pointy tip on it, like an actual like jagged edge, and they don't want that poking into the primers. But pretty much everything else, round nose ball, self-defense rounds, all that stuff can be loaded and shot in this. And we'll do some more testing. I want to do a candy cane load. We'll stick some self-defense, some ball ammo, some different, I got some hand loads. We'll stick them in here and see if it will cycle through all of them. But I've already shot this a bunch because I think it's cool. And I'm pretty much in love with this. There's almost zero recoil, and yet you're going to get a lot more velocity just because of this 18-inch barrel than you would get out of a tiny handgun. In fact, maybe we should do a chronograph test, and we'll chronograph this 5.5-inch barrel, 9mm, and see how it compares with the same ammo into the 18. I think that would be interesting, so maybe we'll give that a try. We don't really do prices anymore because YouTube doesn't like it, but just know that, you know, for about 19 bills, you're gonna probably be okay. This is a limb saver rubber buttstock, and that pretty much just covers things. There's no safety on this, so my recommendation would be either don't carry it around in the chamber, or else just let the hammer down and pop it back onto the half cock. But there's no crossbolt safeties. This thing is truly traditional. The other cool thing about this being so traditional is that it's going to be 50 state legal. I don't know of a single state that this would not be allowed in. It's an antique, technically. It's a reproduction of an antique, but it's going to be able to be bought in California and New York and New Jersey and Maryland and all those places that you guys traditionally have a hard time getting cool firearms. So check it out. Taylor and Company. Yeah, we'll get some more video shooting it here in just a second. But cool gun. And also, obviously in 9mm, and this is clear, but this is a traditional revolver where you actually have to go to half cock or the cylinder won't move. You can really only carry 5 shots in this, even though it's a 6-shooter, because as you can see, you don't want that setting off a round when it's in your holster. So that's how they used to carry these, with 5 rounds in them. But really crisp, nice, beautiful gun. Balance as well. I mean, these things just point so naturally. It's really cool. Also going to be 50 state legal because it doesn't take magazines. It's kind of an antique, but man, you can load this thing up with self-defense rounds and it's going to be very lethal. So the 1873 Winchester, the most popular caliber back in the day, was the 4440. Obviously we don't shoot much of that anymore today, but it was pretty popular back then. It's not a super powerful load. As you can imagine, it was a 44 caliber bullet with 40 grains of black powder. Anyway, but it's a longer cartridge, and these shorter cartridges, they had to shorten some things up in here. So we're going to do a candy cane load. This is a Nosler ASP, and it's a self-defense hollow point. We're going to load one of those in there first, and then let's load a Winchester 115 ball. Just an FMJ, and then let's load this is an American Eagle 147 grain flat nose, and then let's go back to another of these Nosler ASPs, self-defense load, and we'll just stick 2 of those in there, why not? Let's just see if those will run. Right, so we're shooting the plate rack right here, or the spinner. Oh, one more. Ah! I'm empty. Here, let's see if we can get this thing spun. Let's stick a couple more of these in here. And still swinging. Oh, hustle. Now I'm trying to stick too many in here at a time. That's going to be about stopped by the time we get there. All right, bottom, top, bottom, and it's over. There you have it. So, man, it seems to like that hollow point self-defense ammo. By the way, this can handle this can handle plus P 9mm ammunition. So pretty cool. Here's another interesting fact about the 1873. Billy the Kid carried one of these and a revolver similar to this one. So I think his revolver was like a 7.5-inch barrel, and his rifle was probably a longer barrel. They made these in substantially longer barrels to try and get more velocity out of them. Maybe we should do that. Let's do our velocity test. So I've got the Garmin Zero here. We're going to set it up and see how fast this is going out of this 5.5-inch barrel 1873 Winchester Colt replica from Taylor & Company. I'm going to set this as the pistol between 600 and 1700 feet per second. So let's just see what happens here. All right. So this is that nozzler. Should we do an average of 3? Let's shoot 3 of them. Okay, here we go. So we want to be, right here above it, I think should be good. First shot was 1154, 1168, and 1175. So they got faster as we went. Let's check those right out. Okay. Now let's run 3 of the same thing. Okay, so I told her it was a pistol again. I don't think these are going to be going more than 1700 feet per second. So let's give this a try. All right, here we go. 1372, 1364, 1357. 1349. All right, so our average there was 1360. So we got quite a little bump in velocity there. So obviously different ammo, different powders would probably get different results, but certainly the rifle pushes those faster than the pistol did. All right, hope you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it and shooting it. This is sort of the first look at the TC73, the Taylor & Company, completely 100% American-made replica of the 1873 Winchester in 9mm. So tell us what you think in the comments. Tell us if you think this is cool. I think it's pretty much amazing. There's been a movie that's made after this rifle. I believe it's actually called 1873 Winchester with Jimmy Stewart in it, but it's kind of considered the rifle that won the West, and Taylor & Company's brought it back to America, put it in an American, well, what I would call an American caliber now, because it's a very popular caliber, and we've got it. So let us know in the comments what you think. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you on the next video.